Jennifer here with The Secret Garden. You know, here at the store we get asked a lot about moss poles. How to make them, do we have them to sell? What is a moss pole? A moss pole is something that goes in a plant pot to help the plant climb up. What's important about them is that there are a lot of plants that benefit from climbing, and in their natural environment that's exactly what they would do. So this is a very simple moss pole. Looks like this, and it's pretty easy to put together, so I thought we'd show you here at the potting table. The tools you're gonna need for this are some kind of a stick. We do sell these little bamboo sticks here, but you might be lucky enough even to be able to take a walk outside and clip off a dead branch from a tree, and just make sure it's long enough to go in the pot and offer the climbing room that your plant's going to need. The next thing you're gonna need is something to tie the moss to the pole with, and in this case I'm gonna use some twine, but you could use wire of any gauge or color. You could also use fishing line if you just want it to disappear into the moss. All right, and let's talk about the moss. I'm using a mixture of both Spanish moss and sphagnum moss for this project. You can use just one or the other, but I find that the sphagnum moss really retains some moisture well, and this one is really hairy, and it offers lots of room for the plant to grab onto. So we're gonna mix the two together. The first thing we're going to do is just tie the string onto the pole. Gauge how far into the pot the pole is going to go, and you can now put your finger there and tie your string onto that with a knot, and leave a little tail off to the end to tie on later. We'll get to that later. All right, now what you're going to do is just mix up some of these two mosses. This is a fun project maybe to do out in the garage, so that, because it can get a little bit messy. And we're just going to mix these together. I've gotten the sphagnum moss wet so that it's also easier to form and won't just fall apart. All right, here we go. This is where you need more hands than you've got, but what you're going to do is just hold on to the moss and the pole and start wrapping. Look at that, we're grabbing already. So the purpose of this is to get a nice pole going, keep it moist, and then the plant will hold on to it. When you get to the top, you want to turn around and go back down the other side of the pole. Use a little bit of tension so that you are able to hold the moss together onto the pole. And when you get back down to the other side, you're going to find that little tail that we left off at the very beginning for a reason, and that reason is to tie this off. So we're just going to tie a nice knot there, keep it secure, trim off our ends, and we're good to go. Here's a beautiful blue, Cebu blue pothos, and this is a plant that would love to have a climber. When you first get started, the plant isn't just going to know to climb the pole, right? So you can help it along with some more twine just to get it started. Find a branch that you'd like to take up and give it a little bit of support to start with, and you can tie that on. And you can do that with other branches as well, and give it a little room to grow. So that's one type of pole. Another way to do it is to do what's called shingling. If you look at the back of this, this is just a piece of pallet wood that we found and put to good use, and we're doing the same thing. Here's this particular plant growing downwards, but you can also see how beautiful it looks when we take it up the shingle. And the key to the success of this is to make sure that the moss pole stays misted, and that way the plant is going to gravitate towards it and be able to grab on. Probably even more frequently than you water the plant, you're going to mist it, because this will dry out within a couple of days, and you want to keep it nice and misted so that the plant will attach. So there you have it. Messy project, but a fun project. Great way to get yourself through the winter, creating moss poles for your climbing plants. Thanks for joining me.